It's Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, we've got the background behind stocks. The debate on what the national sport of the Bahamas should be continues. And find out how you can win a free tumbler for Valentine's Day. So let's start the morning off right. It's just a matter of the heart. Good morning and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And yes, I'm Charles Fisher.
Fisher, I got a special fruit picture from my fraternity brother who has a farm. Philip Davis Jr. has a farm. I think the fruit is called a rose apple. I think they're about to put it on the screen for our viewers to actually see that
I know about the candy apple and the star apple, but it looks something like a candy apple because it's red with the stick. And you see what it's good for. It hydrates the skin, it treats acne, promotes healthy hair and bones, it treats blood infection. Also, it boosts your immune system. So during this time of COVID, it should be good.
I need that to promote my hair and to strengthen my bones because I really need,
And we wondered why our grandparents lived so long because they lived out of the earth. They didn't know about all this pharmacy stuff that we go to nowadays to get this vitamin and vitamin that. They ate out of the ground. So that's what kept their skins looking good because my grandmother, until she died, she still looked like she was a teenager. I think you from Harbor Island, you eat good out of the ground. You still looking like a teenager this morning, so must compliment you on that as well. So you've probably been eating a lot of star apple and Cersei and...
Cersei, soursop, tamarind, like the one that we have here, this drink by Bahama Brew. He's going to be on our show on Thursday, so I can't wait to see how he gets all of his teas done right here in New Providence.
We have an exciting show coming up for you viewers out there, but let's first take it out to the streets where our Lloyd Allen is standing by. Good morning, Allen.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn and Charles. It's a great start to your Tuesday morning, and of course, from where I'm standing, it was a great rise of the sun. Yes, this is in the area of John F. Kennedy Drive. And of course, today we're joined by two officers from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division. And they're providing some details for us on what's happening in regards to an operation that officers are conducting.
Well, we seem to be having a little audio difficulty there with Lloyd Allen, but taking a look now on the outside, a much clearer start to the day than yesterday when we got up to fog. Temperatures in the mid-70s and partly cloudy. Still some good weather to go there and do some beaching. In the extended forecast, sunshine will dominate for the next 7 days, and that's good for you Valentine lovers.
Let's take a look now at stories making news headlines. The Bahamas Petroleum Company, BPC, has determined that commercial quantities of oil do not exist in the area it's been exploring off Andros after a months-long exploratory mission. Their well has now been sealed according to the company. BPC's CEO Simon Potter explained, however, that the scientific evidence points to the existence of a working petroleum system, but that the potential for a commercial oil discovery lies in other currently untested locations or prospects in BPC's extensive license acreage in the Bahamas. Labor leaders lamenting the state of the hotel industry. Director of Labor John Pinder on the lingering issue.
The hotels are still in stress because they're not able to get sufficient bookings to have the right complement of staff in the workplace, and the ships aren't sailing. We in a crisis to the extent that as long as we can't get the ships to come in port and we can't get sufficient bookings for the hotels, we always have a number of persons finding themselves in furlough.
Meantime, tourism officials continue efforts to revive the country's travel sector in the midst of the ongoing global pandemic. Tourism Minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, says the COVID vaccine may be exactly what the industry needs as travelers seek to remain safe in this COVID environment.
The only light at the end of this dark tunnel is the vaccine. and getting it into the arms of many of our travelers, and then of course getting them in the arms of as many Bahamians as possible, so that travel can resume, confidence can resume to people traveling and not being fearful of getting infected, getting sick, and returning home.
Fraud and money laundering charges filed in court yesterday against 53-year-old Hertha Jenkins of Monastery Park and 34-year-old Dawson Bullard of Garden Hills. It's alleged that the pair fraudulently received more than $35,000 between January 2020 and January 2021 for the sale of Crown land in the Carmichael Road area. It is also alleged that she used forged documents from the Department of Lands and Survey. They pleaded not guilty to all charges and were granted $10,000 bail each with one surety. They returned to court on April 13th for trial.
Now, for sure, when you saw me this morning, you thought I was going to Bahama dressed in my attire. I look like one of those attendants there in the hotels.
You want me to tell you the truth? When I saw you this morning, what I thought I was sitting down in my house back in the 1980s watching Little House on the Prairie.
You actually thought that?
Yeah, I thought a nice little outfit, Little House on the Prairie, if anybody can remember that. I don't know, I just showing my age. But let's talk about the hotel industry. I think things are going to pick up a bit soon, LaDawn, because spring break this is the time for spring break, so those hotels and those Airbnb should start getting full. I know Harbour Island tours has been coming. They never stop.
Because, I know Harbour Island, it thrives on the hotel sector. I know Pink Sands and Coral Sands. I know those hotels can't wait for tourists to actually come and to actually boost the economy, because, Harbour Island is a tourism destination, and with COVID-19, a lot of the hotels have suffered, and I know a lot of the persons that are directly, affiliated with the tourism sector have suffered in the wake of COVID-19. So it's really, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I think right after the spring break, you'll see a lot of the.
And what do you think is going to happen for Valentine's Day? You think a lot of couples?
Yeah, couples may take advantage of that weekend special at the local rates that the hotels are running. Get away from Nassau, then when you go over there, you can walk up and down, not worry about the curfew and all that. It should be good. I think I may take up that offer as well.
I know you have some good stuff coming up in sports.
Well, some good stuff coming up in sports. We're going to debate where either cricket or sailing is the national sport. I know basketball and all those other sports, after they hear the story, they may say, hey, we have a chance as well. But let's go now to what happened last night with DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns closing out a back-to-back last night at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It wasn't easy, but the Suns found a way to pull out 119-113. They moved on to the season at 14-9. DeAndre continued his double-double streak with 15 points and 16 rebounds. There was a point in the game where Suns coach Monty Williams had to call a timeout to get the big man head back in the game. Both Ayton and Williams addressed that after a technical moment.
Coach is not really called getting on. He really just calling me up. That's not calling me out. He know what I can do, and he know how I can affect the game. And I just call it reassurance, to be honest, knowing what I'm capable of and knowing that I am the anchor of this team on the defensive end. So just letting me know, like, come on, DA. If you know me, that's what motivates me. That's what keeps me going. That's what wake me up.
He has unreal talent, and it's not me getting on him. It's calling him up to the talent that he has, and he responded. And I told him after the game, we were walking in the tunnel, that his response out of that timeout was a great sign of growth, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. And so it's my job to help him in those moments, but I also have to show him, like, what he needs to do to help us and help himself. And his response should be highlighted. He didn't like me getting on him, but he took it the right way, and he came out of the timeout and he was great. And so it says a lot about his growth as a player and as a person.
We're doing what we practice, we know each other's personnel, and there's chemistry that still has to be grown, but it's the way how we play consistently, and we're playing hard. And, we're not making anything easy on any team, and we're doing it together. So I'm very happy. I'm extremely excited. And I love the pressure that my team is giving me when it's on the defensive floor, protecting the glass, and, just being that vocal point, just to keep our team's energy. And it's just amazing.
And when we come back, we'll give you a history lesson on stocks. So keep it locked. Into the
global economic mood, now may be a great time to explore the world of investments like stocks. Taking a glance at the Bahamas International Security Exchange, there are a number of options for locals. But do you know the background of stocks? Well, according to history, the first modern stock trading was created in Amsterdam when the Dutch East India Company was the first publicly traded company. To raise capital, the company decided to sell stock and pay dividends of the shares to investors. Then in 1611, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was created. A stock, also known as equity, is a security that represents the ownership of a fraction of a corporation. This entitles the owner of the stock to a proportion of the corporation's assets and profits equal to how much stock they own. Units of stock are called shares. There are two main types of stocks: common stock and preferred stock. Common stock is, well, common. When people talk about stocks in general, they are most likely referring to this type. In fact, the majority of stock issued is in this form. Now, preferred stocks, on the other hand, represent some degree of ownership in a company, but usually doesn't come with the same voting rights. This may vary depending on the company.
Well, a virtually driven world amidst COVID-19 did not escape the real estate sector. Agents reported that they had to manage viewings with carefully coordinated virtual sessions with clients all over the world. Albert Thompson of H.G. Christie Real Estate.
Now it's even more so. We've had to do a lot more virtual tours, virtual viewings. Some persons could not travel here, especially if they live abroad and they were in lockdowns. We had to do a lot of things virtually. So we took a lot more video and not just photos. And the photos have to be pristine because that is the first thing that they see. And sometimes now that may be the only thing that they have as a deciding factor as to whether or not they will go ahead and select that property.
Thompson explained the appeal of a property that was being offered in Western New Providence.
This particular property was built in the 1960s, and it's still in very good condition. So maintenance is key. One thing people sometimes forget to think about when they're purchasing a property is maintenance. You may be able to afford the property, but also think about your ongoing maintenance, because you can have a property that's 60 years old in great condition, or you can have a new property that's 5 years old, but if you don't maintain it, it could start to really show its age very quickly. So this property has been well maintained, and the greatest selling point for this property, of course, is the fact that it's oceanfront, not just oceanfront, but beachfront. That is a key, because many persons who are abroad in other countries, when they think of the Bahamas, they think of the beach, they want to be on or near the beach or have a view of the beach. This property doesn't, so that's the greatest selling point for this particular property.
As we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On February 9th, 1967, history was made in the Bahamas with the swearing in of the first black government. The new Premier Lyndon Penling led a procession along East Street and Rawson Square. Alvin Brainer was unanimously elected Speaker of the House of Assembly. Clifford Darling was elected Deputy Speaker. Also on February 9, 1994, a bill was passed to change the car licensing system here in the Bahamas, enabling vehicles to be licensed during the owner's birth month. The amendment, which made provisions for year-round licensing, eliminated the backup, which had occurred annually at the end of March.
Now, if you ask any Bahamian or regular sports fan what is the national sport of the Bahamas, you'll get various answers. But actually, it is cricket. We had a discussion between Greg Taylor, he's the president of the Bahamas Cricket Association, and Dwayne Higgins of the Bahamas Sloop Sailing Federation and vice commodore of the National Sailing Association. We allowed both to put forward their reasons why their sport should be the national sport.
Cricket is the national sport and should remain the national sport because right now, cricket is the oldest sport that is being played in the Bahamas. There was only one other sport that was older than cricket, which started in 1796, and that was horse racing.
We literally are the lifeblood of this country, and we believe that a national sport should actually represent all of its people, all of the people that's here. Basketball represents a small segment of the country. So does soccer. So does cricket. So does golf and all the rest of those. But sailing itself represents every island. In fact, every island in this country stands out because of the prowess that sailors have brought to that island.
Now, sailing has some history on its side.
Sailing actually established this country on the Olympic scene with Sir Durwood and Mr. Cook, who would have won the first gold medal for this country. Now, the thing is, we may not have as many opportunities to be on that international scene, but there are persons who are still involved with sailing on an international level.
Saying that it's the oldest sport, and it was the only sport that was really played since horse racing. Softball, basketball, baseball, soccer, none of those were played here in the Bahamas. So this was our national sport. From King Hammer was a hatchet.
Can we say a national sport should be the one that has the biggest following?
When you talk about sports, you talk about crowds and all of that. There's no sport in this country that I know of that consistently draws the crowd of people to these various islands as does sailing. None.
They look at the crowd and say, oh, regatta. It draws a crowd, but how many kids can own a sailing boat? How many kids can own a T20, T21 yacht? You know, if it's cricket, you could pick up a bat and ball and go in the street and you can play cricket. You don't need anything until you really get into the sport.
So, Greg, do you think it will be changed?
It is really unfair now to try and change a sport that's been around for almost 200 years. Sailing was never a sport other than cricket back in those days. Your national sport is your national sport. If something has been a national sport for over, say, 200 years, why change it? Perfect example is Canada. You would think you see hockey games on TV all the time. You say, oh, that's the national sport of Canada. That's not the national sport. The national sport of Canada is lacrosse. It might not be as popular as the hockey, but that is your national sport.
Ann Higgins, your final point to have sailing the national sport.
We need something that really represents this country. When I go down past Haynes Oval and I see that there was another spot, I think, off by Windsor Park, where they were setting up cricket, and most people, they looked and they didn't even know what those fields were really for. So the pitch is good. It's nice that we can hold on to some of the history, but we have to be realistic in whatever it is. So for me, especially as a younger Bahamian, I'm not a young Bahamian anymore, but a younger Bahamian, I expect to see a sport that really represents the Bahamas as having that national title to it.
Greg, your point.
The change is beyond the power of the Bahamas Cricket Association. If the government changes it, then it's changed. All I can do is petition the government the same way as sailing, but why petition if you're already the national sport?
Now, LaDawn, I know you were here shaking your head. You didn't know some of those stuff.
Yeah, and I definitely don't know how to play cricket. So are you able to get someone to assist
me?
me?
We can get somebody
I
to teach us, probably one of the forward boys, or Greg Taylor. But both persons presented their argument as to why this sport should be the national sport. Cricket is already the national sport, but sailing has put forward legislation to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture saying that they should be the largest the national sport because of what they've been doing for the country. But do you know the #1 sport in the world is?
No, I don't.
Soccer, followed by cricket. So that's a right that the cricket has, but a lot of persons here don't know about cricket like you said, you get somebody to teach you. So I think that if they put it in the schools, publicize it more. Now, I know after this story, we're going to get basketball calling, we're going to get volleyball, and we're going to get track and swimming, because they're the two dominant sports right now. Track will say, yeah, we're bringing home all the medals from the world. Yeah, swimming will be saying, yeah, we're doing good as well. So the debate will continue as to what will be the national sports, cricket or sailing, but right now, sailing looking like they want to be the national sport.
So do you think that we will ever change it? Do you think it'll ever be changed from cricket?
Like Greg said, why change it when you already have it on the book? But thing changes every day. So hopefully, sooner or later, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture will come forward and say, this is the national sport, either cricket or sailing, but we'll still have argument from other sports, including track and field, and especially swimming, who's doing pretty good now.
I think sailing should be the national sport, because we have sailing every month. We have a regatta or something.
One thing is for sure, this is the national station. We do more than anybody else. We travel the island, so there's no debate there.
Yes, yes. And when we come back, we will reveal the question for our free tumbler for one lucky winner live, so keep it locked.
Well, love is certainly in the air here on the Morning Edition as we continue to feature budding entrepreneurs for Valentine's Day. Our very own Arnika Bannister has been creating unique tumblers since COVID-19 reared its ugly head in this country and says business has been booming. She joins us live in studio this morning to talk about that and also to give away something special for one lucky winner. Arnika, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you, LaDawn.
So talk to me a little bit about how has business been since we last spoke to you?
Business has been great. Business picked up a lot, seeing that we had our last interview and over the Christmas. So it's been pretty good, pretty active.
Talk to me about the Valentine's Day. I know you have a lot up your sleeves for Valentine's Day and for the remainder of the year. What are some of the tumblers that you're working on right now?
Well, for Valentine's Day, I'm offering a package where it will be one 20-ounce tumbler, a stemless wine glass, a shot glass, and a mini bottle of wine. So that's our package we have going for this Valentine's Day.
And what are some of the tumblers that seem to be a hit with your customers?
Well, right now, we don't have any popular tumblers, so it's just as they come.
Has business been challenging for you in this COVID environment?
Not really, not really. Business has actually been good. It's been flowing. Everything has been good.
And I know you have some new, I guess, products that you're about to add to your collection. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, we're getting more into resin art. And when I say resin art, I have here a wine caddy where you would have your wine in the middle of this, and you would then insert your two wine glasses here and here. So you don't have to really struggle moving from the table to another area of the house to carry your wine glasses. And it also comes with two coasters.
And how's that going for you so far?
Well, it's a new product, so it's pretty, what can I say? It's pretty good. It's a new product. I've posted it on social media. A lot of people shared it, liked it. So it's something new and unique that we'll be offering.
And one lucky winner is going to walk away with one of those particular tumblers if they can answer this question. What was the day and the year that the first show for the Morning Edition aired? The day and the year that the Morning Edition first aired. Arnika, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and all the best of luck to you and your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, LaDawn.
Cakes and cupcakes, chocolate, and anything sweet have become quite popular for Valentine's Day and has generated income for creatives and cake artists around town. Well, the morning team caught up with the 34-year-old owner of Lena's Sweet Treats to talk about her sweet but sugary creations.
I'm blessed to say that I've been pretty busy.
From sweet strawberries dipped and glazed in chocolate to unbreakable hearts made out of white chocolate with hidden candies on the inside are just some of the sweet treats Lena has been whipping up in her kitchen just in time for Lover's Day. While her business is just 4 years old, Lena says most of her treats have been a big hit for customers with a sweet tooth.
I mostly specialize in cakes and cupcakes, and then after a while I added treats like candy apples, donuts, Rice Krispie treats, stuff like that. Like the stuff that you would set a buffet table with.
What are the popular sellers of the hot
Popular stuff. Everybody loves cupcakes. Everyone loves cupcakes. They love my butter vanilla flavor and chocolate more than anything else. And then candy apples are a big seller. People love candy apples.
Believe it or not, though, getting quality ingredients and equipment to make the treats perfect cost Lena quite a pretty penny. But she says it's a full-time job she truly enjoys. While giving me a little tutorial on how to get the chocolate strawberries just right, Lena says customers are also tapping into the art of putting romantic messages like "I love you" over the top.
I use Couverture chocolate, which is a bit more expensive than just regular compound chocolate. And I use that with molds. You'll see in a minute. With molds that I put into, you put the chocolate in the fridge for about 5-10 minutes, and then it's ready. You pop it out, and you glue it with chocolate onto the berries. But yeah, strawberries like this is kind of simple. You just melt your chocolate, dip, make a little design, set it in the fridge, you're good to go. I go off of what's trendy and what's popular. So whatever people want, I try to keep up with demand. So that's basically what it is. And it can become real heavy in the pockets because molds are very expensive. Silicone molds are expensive. Yeah, having to decorate is expensive. Just the tiny things people don't think about, like packaging, cards, you know, ribbon, it all adds up.
With 100 scrumptious cakes under her belt, Lena says business for Valentine's Day is on the move.
And Fisher Lena's going to have a special surprise for us on Friday, so you don't want to miss it on Friday.
Wait, those treats look so good. I was just hung on the pastry, but my birthday is next month. Just giving you an idea.
So we're going to have something special for you on your birthday, but we won't tell you. We'll surprise you. It's going to be a big surprise.
Thank you, thank you. Well, tomorrow we're going to have an exciting show as well.
We're going to have the president of the Red Cross. She's going to be in the house. She got a special award from London for all of her efforts with the Red Cross. So she'll be joining us tomorrow morning to talk about that and to also talk about the operations of the Red Cross in this COVID environment. And that's one of your friends.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to tomorrow, everybody.
And that's a wrap for us this morning for the entire team. I'm Adon Davis.
And I'm
Make
Charles
it a
Fisher.
great day, everyone.